you talk too much. Put me out of my misery. My mind feels like an arch enemy. Can't look me in the eyes. I don't know what hurts the most. Hold it all or let it go. Reliving my memories, and they're killing me one by one. And I'm staring into the void again. No one knows what I'm missing. The voices in my head say I'm just being paranoid, but it's bad for my health. How much I hate myself, I suffocate. The way it pulls me underneath. Put me out of my misery. My mind feels like an arch enemy. Can't look me in the eyes. I don't know what hurts the most. Hold it all or let it go. Reliving my memories, and they're killing me one by one. Yeah, it's killing me one by one, and they're killing me one by one.
Yeah. When I was 9, I'd make believe the good guy always caught the thief. The room went dark and I couldn't sleep. I was in over my head. At 15, I would look around, and all my friends had it figured out. They all thought it, but they never said out loud. I was in over my head. Oh, I feel this vertigo. Sick of being an optimist. I'm trying, but I'm in over my head. I'm in over my head. Cause I'm in over my head. I thought I'd make change happen overnight. I was 20, thought I had a good hold on life. Didn't know it at the time, I was not alright. I was in over my head. Now I'm pretty sure at 26 that it isn't gonna be some little fix. The game wasn't rigged by accident. I'm in over my head. Oh, I feel this vertigo. Sick of being an optimist. I'm trying. Deep down it hurts to know how bad I wanna call it quits. I'm trying, but I'm in over my head. I'm in over my head. Cause I'm in over my head. Cause I'm in over my head. Oh, I feel this vertigo. Sick of being an optimist. I'm trying. Deep down it hurts to know how bad I wanna call it quits. I'm trying, but I can't hear myself. I can't hear myself though. I can't hear shit. It's 'cause my headphones aren't plugged in. I'll do it live. Cause I'm in over my head.
to die. Are you sleeping deep in the hurricane? IVs in the arms, forgetting to feel we're crawling all over us. Will you follow that sun and the second coming? They're gonna taste the ash and dust, 'cause this world is dying in arms. No wheels are turning. What would you do to stay alive if the planet was burning? You're Need to know where your loyalties lie. Tell me how you're gonna fuck up mine. Do you really wanna twist a knife in the belly? Get the fuck up, wake the fuck up. Wipe the system and burn the fuck up. You're a puppet with a gun, your strings up. So come crawling back. I'll fight for you until I die. Kingslayer, destroying castles in the sky. Kingslayer, forever will the apple of my eye. And sacrifice it all to guide you, never devour. Kingslayer, come and collect us from rise. This is your wake-up call. I'm going down the rabbit hole. Are you ready? I can feel you!
The World Online Racing Championship does not own any of the clips or audio used in the following intro. We utilize these video clips and audio clips utilizing the YouTube Fair Use Agreement. Thank you.
You call it the connection? Oh, give me a break! Oh, give me a break! Oh, give me a break! Okay.
Welcome everybody for our second race of the week. This time the season opener here in the World Online Racing Championship Keystone Corner Sports Car Championship. That's right everybody, welcome today. My name is Braison Collins, as you will see popping up on your screen right there. And well, we've got an exciting one lined up on tap for you guys. Multi-class racing for the first time in, well, technically the second time in WORC's history. We did do a little 6-hour event months ago, but this is the first time we're focusing a league on it. We're going to go ahead and bring up some of our track info for today. Of course, we're at the World Center of Racing here at the Daytona International Speedway at their road course this time. We were at the Oval on Thursday with our truck series. It's about a 4-mile track, 11 turns, located in Daytona Beach, Florida, with an altitude of just 37 feet. That kind of hurts me in my mountain lungs. um, our race info for today. That's qualifying, excuse me. Let's get into the weather. 69 degrees, nice temperature out there today. Track temp of 72 degrees, so not too warm of a track. It's about 7 p.m. Eastern sim time, as this race should carry us into the night sky. Meanwhile, though, while it's still daytime, we got partly cloudy skies, a wind speed of 6 miles an hour, and we got a very small percentage of humidity sitting right there at about 1%. While qualifying is going on, I can unfortunately show you drivers qualifying, and unfortunately our multi-class ticker has not been installed yet, so we are just looking here to see who has put down lap times yet. Looks like Mr. State in the 98. He is the pole sitter here in the LMP 2 class. So if you were not familiar with multi-class racing, we have three classes here. We got the LMP2s, which are all Dallara manufactured. Um, then we have the GT3 class. Our GT3s are the Audi RA LMS. Um, we've got the Lamborghini Huracan and the third GT3. I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head here. Our third GT3, jeez, I have no idea what I'm doing. Our third GT3 is the Mercedes. That's right. We got the Mercedes GT3 out here as well, and then we also have GTE class. We got the Porsche 911. We got the BMW M8, and then we got the Chevrolet Corvette. So, got 7 different vehicles we should see on track today. For this one here, we've got many people here for this one. This is probably the most we've ever had in a WORC race at a time, and I'm glad that we could bring up some car count for you guys. So yeah, it looks like the LMP2s, not sure what kind of a setup they've got on that 98 machine, but those top three are all LMP2s, and as you see, 5 tenths between third place and first. This is gonna be fun to watch. Josh Patterson, the WORC Road Course King, if you will, you see there, P6 in his class, P6 overall, of course. In the LMP2s, we'll see if Mr. Josh Patterson can work his way up through the field. This is the first time, as I've said, WORC has done sports car racing in any fashion. Our lineup for today, we had a 30-minute practice session prior to this. We are currently finishing out our 10-minute qualifying session. Drivers get the chance to choose to qualify or not. Everybody gets to race. So from there, we've got an 80-minute race, and this ain't like your normal NASCAR or your oval racing or dirt oval racing even. We don't really throw cautions here. Full course cautions do happen to exist. However, they're very rare, unless you were watching today's Rolex 24 in real life. But looks like qualifying is over, so we are going to see here who is starting on pole for today. As see the checkered flag up there in the top corner. We are working out the kinks with our ATVO here. I'm trying to figure out where we can find our drivers on track here. There they are, lining up on the back straightaway. And we're going to try to pull up your starting grid. I'm not sure how well this is going to look, so I will try to identify the separation of classes best I can. Here's your guys who qualified, though. Adam State in the 98 on pole in the LMP2s. And we got Tyler Guillemette. Excuse me if I mispronounce the names. Some of these guys are new to WORC. Third place, looks like he improved on his lap. Mr. Josh Patterson, as I mentioned, the WORC Road Course King. Dude wins every road course, so eyes on that O2 machine. Then we got Austin Edwards to his outside. Then we got Christopher Miller, John Canizaro, Jordan Spoon, Brandon Sampson, Rafael Santiago, Joe Fierro, Michael Robinson, Nick Pina, Justin Johnson, Robert Young, Jarek Hernandez Acaba. The A is not there on the grid for some reason. We got Cody Bullock, Jack Wyborn, and then Parker White, I can confirm for sure, is a GTE. So Parker White in that 911 in the GTEs. Then we got Cole Williams, Charlie Byer, Michael Bernard, Mitch Hobbs, Brian Kite, Chris Brown, Joe Hutchings, Nate Brooker, Boyd Payne, Adam Lambert. And then starting with the GT3s who have qualified, we got Sartaj Mon on pole to his outside, his teammate Corey Hartz. Look for them. They're both very quick cars. Then we got David Sluter, Christian Visconti, Alan Doronco, Coy Hasselo, Blake Kennedy, Ethan Harrison, Ethan Workman, Charles Alexander, Brian Zinn, Marion McDaniels, Anthony Pritchett, Sean Giroux, Richard Shiaki, James Youngman, Tony Teolis, and then it looks like from here we got cars who didn't qualify. We got Joe Burgy and Gino Mauro. I believe they're both LMP2s, and then you got me right there. Then GTEs, we got Harry Grindle, Jake Fluman, who I believe Fluman's a GTE. He also did not qualify. Then we got Jay Mulder, Matthew McDonald, Bridger Olson in the GTEs did not qualify, and then Henry Klappert in the GT3 didn't qualify, and Ryan Martin rounding out 55 drivers here today. For this one, an exciting one for sure. As Joe Burgy has come to a stop on the racetrack. So I'm not sure what's going on with Joe, but here we are. We got Adam State lined up here to start us off. You can hear these cars roar. To the start-finish line they go. Look at all those LMPs right there. These guys will come to the green flag first, and then we will see the rest of the field here. Green flag is out, and off we are. The WORC Sports Car Championship. Green flag, there's your LMP2 class. Let's see how they get through turn 1 right here. All nice and organized here as they get through turn 1. Doesn't look like we have any incidents here. We're going to take a look now at your GTE class right here. Parker White leads them. Oh, we got a wreck. Could not tell who was involved in that. Looks like Adam Lambert may have been involved in that a little bit here. And now we're going to take a quick look here at your GT3 class. There's Sartaj Mon in the Lambo. As lots of issues here for the GTE class early on as, oh, the 24, I believe that was. BMW got knocked off of back there. And as we see Ethan Workman and Ethan Harrison going side by side through the kink. Lots of chaos happening here early on. We already saw that big wreck. Oh, we got another car around another GTE. Couldn't quite tell what that was. Here's Cole Williams though, as he's here with Parker White leading the GTE class early on. And it looks like Charlie Byer behind. So lots of chaos starting off this one. And we are now going to go back, as there's a P2. That's Joe Burgy, I believe. We're going to go back to look at the number 98. And we are going to see if we can go follow him here, as he is completing lap number 1. And Adam State is off to a huge lead here in the LMP2 class. We're going to try our best here, keep you guys updated on the classes. As I said, our multi-class ticker is not available right now. We will be utilizing the side ticker for today's event. Try to keep you guys updated. Henry Klappert, Bridger Olson, each a lap down. Not sure what happened there with them. Looks like Klappert may have missed a start. He fell asleep before the truck race, so doesn't surprise me in the least bit that he may have missed this. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to get that on the screen. My bad. Uh-oh. Excuse me for a moment, I'm having a little bit of technical issues here, pulling stuff up. I'm not sure why my taskbar has decided to disappear. Alright, we're good. My bad for that, guys. I'm not sure why my taskbar disappeared, so we're good now. Everything looking good here as Adam State continues to pull away here in that LMP2 class. And here's a good look at Justin Johnson through the bus stop And these P2s are insanely faster in comparison to the rest of these guys. So looks like Joe Hutchins has already called it quits. He is the first official retirement of today's race. As here's Josh Patterson already lapping a couple GT3s right there through turns. Well, that's the NASCAR Oval 3 and 4. There's a good look at Mr. Patterson in that Kingslayer Autosport 02 machine as he treks his way around this racetrack here. The 888, that is the, he's a rookie here to WORC. The 888 is Michael Robinson. And here we get a good look at the 17 and the 141. The 141 is Rafael Santiago. The 17 is John Canizaro. And then there's the 98 who continues to lead this LMP2 class here. We're going to take a quick look at Parker White. Bring our kicker back up here. We're going to try to get a replay real quick here. I believe we had an incident. I'm going to try to see if I can pull up the replay here and see what happened. I believe Christian Visconti had an issue. And I'm not able to pull it up for some reason. I'm not sure why. Looks like we will not be able to find the issue here with Mr. Visconti early on, as he had an issue here. So that's unfortunate, guys. I apologize for that, as looks like we will not be able to find that issue out here with Mr. Visconti. But no worries, we'll be able to pull that WORC replay screen off your face here, and we'll be able to get a good look here at the race cars as they traverse this beautiful oval here at Daytona as the night sky begins to fall. Now we get a good look here at these cars coming onto the oval. There's Parker White. He continues to lead his class, and we haven't really talked about it yet. Here's the GT3 class. Looks like we got a blinking issue here with one of the GT3s. We're gonna have to try to get this taken care of here. There we go. We're back to live action. Not sure what's happening here. There we go. So there's the battle actually here for the GT3 lead. That is between Sartaj Mon and David Sluter. Not sure how to say that name. My apologies. And Sartaj on Proximity Racing. Sluter, can't remember his team. I believe it's called Hutch Sport Racing, if I'm not mistaken. You see these guys go through the S's here. And there's another GT3 right behind. If you see that carbon fiber Lamborghini, that would be Corey Hart's, I believe. Yep, that is Corey Hart's right there. You see that carbon fiber GTE, and oh, the 94 has. I was trying to watch the 94 car. He has blinked out, so we're gonna just try to get to our most exciting happening here on track here. So there's Adam State, still leading your P2 class. Currently your leaders are Adam State in the P2, Parker White in the GTE, and Corey Hart's in his class as well. And right there, the 118 car. The 118 is also a rookie in WORC. That is Austin Edwards. And right here in the Ally, number 36, that's Jordan Spoon, 71. That's Gino Mero. He has made a truck start before. He's under attack by Joe Burgy and Justin Johnson, and I'm not sure why iRacing is having some issues in this camera shot. It's picking up cars. Unfortunately, iRacing is having an issue with the spectator mode where it's not really wanting to show me how everyone's doing on track. But we're good now here. The 716, that's Robert Young. And you guys in the comment section, if you have any questions as to where your driver is, feel free to go ahead and ask. We'll try to bring up your driver on stream, show you how he's doing. Looks like we got somebody rooting for the number 9 of Ryan Martin. We're gonna see if we can try to find him on track here. Ryan Martin does not appear to be on track right now. It appears he's had an issue. He's back to 14th place here on track, so we cannot pull up Ryan Martin right now, unfortunately. Meanwhile, in the LMP class, Josh Patterson may have had an issue here. I cannot find Mr. Patterson. Josh Patterson has pulled it off the racetrack, as has Cody Bullock, Henry Klappert, Michael Robinson, Christian Visconti, James Youngman, Bridger Olson, Joe Hutchings, Matthew McDonald, Ethan Harrison, Harry Grindle, Corey Hartz, Boyd Payne, Nate Brooker, David Sluter. Sluter was battling for that lead. Mitch Hobbs. Man, we got a lot of people who are currently off on the pit road. And unfortunately, I'm trying to do my best here, get you guys some action. Unfortunately, the spectator mode is having some issues here on the iRacing service, and it is making it a tad bit difficult to continue to watch this race. Fortunately, we did not have these issues on Thursday night, so a little bit of an abrupt issue here on the iRacing platform, but glad to be here today as Justin Johnson here, you see, is on pit road. And there's your leader, Adam State. He is lapping a GT3 here. And look at State here. He's going to make a move on a Corvette GTE on the 968. Here's more racing here. 2 LMPs trying to get by another GT3. That it looks like that's David Sluter, who we said was battling for the lead with Sartaj Mon. There's not sure what the number is on that LMP. Couldn't quite catch it, but here's 2 LMPs trying to battle it out right now. And even more action here is coming onto the oval. See the 17 of Cannizzaro. And we got a car around right there going on in the oval. Let's see if iRacing's going to let us take a look back at that. Looks like they're still there. Cannot quite confirm what vehicle is stopped there. Looks like that maybe Brandon Sampson or Josh Patterson potentially. No, it's a GT car of some sort. Not too sure what's going on, but can't figure out what vehicle is stopped there. There's Josh Patterson. You see him run off the racetrack as we go through the kink here. Here's Brandon Sampson. That vehicle's still stopped right there on the track. I'm not too sure what's going on here. There's a 16. Joe Fierro, rookie here in WORC, as he makes his way through the kink here. Give me a quick second here, everyone. We're gonna have to go into a. We'll be right back here in just a moment. Here, I'm gonna try to see if I can fix our ticker here. Alright everybody, we are back, and my apologies for that. I was attempting to fix our ticker here. Now we can actually see what's going on in this race, so... Um, anyways, as you see here, Adam State continuing to lead here in his class. A little hard to tell what the results are faring like here. I feel like our GTE class is not actually 11 laps down, so it looks like we're having a little bit of a glitch with iRacing. As you see here, unfortunately, iRacing service continues to glitch. I apologize for this. This is not necessarily what should be happening here. We can still see cars coming around the track though, and we still see well, somewhat cars coming around the track here. So we'll see what we can get figured out here for the future here, as I'm not sure why iRacing is doing this here. As we see many cars coming into turn 1 here. Good little action shot there. Let me try here, get a different camera angle here. Looks like, let's see here, do we have a look at this? Looks like Chris Brown pulled it into the pits, and it looks like Brian Zinn may have spun. Fortunately, iRacing will not allow me to look at these, but as you see here, many cars coming by on the front straightaway. And there we go, we got a little bit more action here now as we're in the infield here. There's that 36 of Jordan Spoon. He coming to the inside to lap the BMW GTE there in the 822. That's Boyd Payne. There's Blake Kennedy and Ethan Workman, 2 Outlaw Racing teammates. Looks like they're battling it out in the GT3 class. Oh, we got almost contact here. We have 3 LMPs very close to each other. Looks like Ryan Martin right there in the 9. Looks like he is playing some defense right now. And there's more LMPs coming through the kink. Or not through the kink, excuse me, through turn 1. Looks like we got 3 of them in a line. And I believe that was Joe Burgy back there, but this is Austin Edwards right here in the 118 leading this pack of P2s. Here's John Cannizzaro in the JSR P2. Looks like we got Harry Grindle trailing behind him. Looks like Grindle just got lapped in. Whoa! Looks like the 94 of David Slutier. Oh, we got a spin! It's one of the JSR cars. I believe that's Justin Johnson. It's actually Brandon Sampson in the 96. Sampson's got some damage to that. We're going to look at the Drivelines SimSport 16 now. Joe Fierro. He makes his way through the kink here. And he's got a lap. He's got to safely try to get around David Slutier and Sartaj Mon, who are battling for that GT3 lead right in front of him. And Slutier has been on Mon's bumper most of this race. Here's Justin Johnson now trying to take a stand on Mr. Fierro. Meanwhile, here's Ryan Martin through the kink as he's trying to take a lap on some other GT3s here. There's the 54, Jarek Hernandez Acaba right behind Martin. They're battling for position. I can't quite tell a position. Looks like they're battling for 12th overall and 12th in class as well. So these two trying to put themselves closer to a top 10 position here. There's the 42 of Cole Williams. I believe he's leading the GTE class. I'm trying to figure this out right here. No, Parker White still leads the GTE class. Cole Williams is P2. My apologies for that. As speaking of a GTE, the one car getting sent right here by Mr. Spoon, and then he's got another GTE he's got to deal with right in front of him. As Jordan Spoon attempts to lap the 88. Here's Fierro and Johnson as they try to get by. And oh, Harry Grindle had himself a spin. Not sure what happened there. And oh, the 43 sends it in, takes out Sampson, almost takes out P2. The 43 LMP2, that is Cody Bullock. I'm not sure if he just happened to miss the corner or what. We're going to get a quick replay here. Looks like through turn 1. Not sure if he just missed his braking zone. It looks like Bullock may have tried to send it between the GT3 and Sampson. He clips Sampson and puts himself in the barrier. And ultimately that's not going to work, as now that 43 is about to get passed by Nick Bina, and that's actually not even for position, that's to be lapped. So that is not quite a good look on that 43. As iRacing has decided to do the funny real quick. There we go. There's Adam State continuing to dominate here in his class. Austin Edwards P2, 5.5 seconds back, and as you see, Mr. State about to come by and lap the 911 of Parker White, who is leading his class. There you see State send in Parker White. And more lappage happening here. So there's P2, so that's Austin Edwards, looks like Guillemette right there, P3 in the 555. So Guillemette not quite out of range to be able to send himself into a P2 behind Mr. Edwards. Here's John Cannizzaro. Looks like he's being trailed by Jordan Spoon for a top 5. And Gino Merrill right behind in P7. So he loops himself around Daytona International Speedway. And Fierro right behind him, just a few seconds back actually. We were able to see him in camera shot just a moment ago. And here we have Rafael Santiago and Brandon Sampson. But right now Adam State continues to pace himself as the leader here in this LMP2 class. He's got some open track right now. He's hoping to take that to his advantage. There's Austin Edwards. P2 just got himself around Parker White, and it looks like Edwards actually might be lapping his own class here as Michael Robinson in the 888. And John Cannizzaro making his way through the right-hander there. Looks like he entered it a little high. So he's trying to run away from Jordan Spoon. And so Spoon gonna have a lot of time left here to try to run down Mr. Cannizzaro. As Gino Marrow and P7. Oh, we got a GTE spinning out behind him. Looks like he's cleared himself up out of harm's way. Oh, we got two LMPs battling, excuse me. However, iRacing says go look at Adam State. As you see here, it looks like John Cannizzaro has gotten passed by Spoon, and Cannizzaro is actually going to slide it into that corner here, trying to get onto the oval. And looks like that bright green Patron GTE gonna have to back it off there as Cannizzaro slid his way into the oval. There's Fierro, as he's got looks like Justin Johnson maybe in front of him. Wasn't too sure there on track. Meanwhile, Adam State continuing to put laps down here as he's about to lap Ethan Workman. And Workman is trailing Kennedy there. That's for P3 in the GT3 class, I believe. That is for P3, and Kennedy and Workman will both try to get out of the way of Mr. State. Looks like Kennedy's actually going to use it to his advantage. And was Workman does not get a good turn 2 there. And there's Josh Patterson in the background you see, I believe. Adam State, man, he has put himself on a whole nother pedestal tonight. There's his P2 Austin Edwards, and there's P3 Christopher Miller, as Miller is gotten by Guillemette, and this is interesting. State, man, I don't even know what to really say here, to be honest, as Mr. Adam State has continued to put himself on a different level. Through turn 1, he's got some open track. As you see, the night sky starting to fall here slowly in Daytona. And next week, we will have an off week here in the series, as we will be taking off for the Super Bowl. We know many people around the world like to come watch that, and so do our admins as well. So we will not be racing next week, and the week after is temporarily possibly going to be postponed due to the Daytona 500. That's up for grabs. However, when we do eventually come back here to the Keystone Corner Sports Car Championship, we'll be at Laguna Seca, beautiful racetrack facility in California. And after that, we head to Road America and Watkins Glen, and then we leave the U.S. and we travel internationally for the rest of the season as we go to Oulton Park after that. And then we go to Spa, Le Mans, Hungaroring, or Red Bull Ring. That's up for grabs, as those are temporarily not on the iRacing service. Of course, by the time those tracks come around, we should have something. So, and after that, we go to Nürburgring, Okayama, Oran Park, and then we end out the season at Interlagos. Yeah, State is about a lap teammates Akaba and Pina, and they're 13th and 12th each in class. And look at this cluster of cars. That GTE is just gonna knock himself off. That's the GT3 leaders in Slutier and Sartaj Mon. Edwards has lapped Josh Patterson, and Patterson's trying to find his way around these guys himself. And there's State as he's lapped Pina and Akaba. There's Edwards trying to keep some sort of pace with Mr. State, but it's going to take a major mistake from State to cause an issue here. There's Mr. Spoon, Jordan Spoon. We saw him get by John Cannizzaro, and then Cannizzaro had a slide afterwards. Looks like Cannizzaro has lost a little bit of ground. to Jordan Spoon on that top 5, as State has put another LMP a lap down, as he's put Jack Wyborn, I believe is the name on that 47. He put him a lap down. And I want to know what kind of setup this guy has on his car. He is flying right now. There's the 9 of Ryan Martin. I believe he just came out of pit road. Martin going a lap down here. Maybe not going on a pit road necessarily, but Ryan Martin in P11. And Wyborn has gone off the racetrack behind them. And Edwards now lapping Wyborn. And now he's going to have to lap the GTE there of Boyd Payne. And Payne moves up the racetrack, gives him some room. There's Christopher Miller. As Josh Patterson has once again gone off. Patterson having himself a rough day. We watched him go off track in the infield. He's just not quite grasping the infield here. So Spoon looks like he's running back down Cannizzaro. At some point Cannizzaro got by Spoon for P5. There's Mr. State as in the top left. Unfortunately, the timer has not set, so this has put us down on how many laps these guys will have to run, and so we'll be able to manage off of that. Of course, Mr. State here lapping Tony Teolis in the Audi GT3. And there's P3, Guillemette. He got right back by Christopher Miller. There's Cannizzaro, who once again gets passed by Jordan Spoon, and we see right there on camera. So Cannizzaro and Spoon really having it out here for top 5. And meanwhile, Adam State. Keep trying to keep an update on him. Austin Edwards just having a hard time keeping close to Mr. State here. And I think pit strategy is going to be the big key here, as Adam State and Austin Edwards are really going to have it out for each other on pit road. They're going to have, well, they're each going to have to try to do a different pit strategy, I think. I don't think Edwards will be able to catch State on pace. Just depends on how well the setups work at night, of course, as this race will end in the nighttime. We're about almost halfway through this one, and as you see, the night sky is starting to fall. The lights are on the cars, and Daytona's looking ever so beautiful. And after race 1 in our Dirt Modified Tour, we looked at it and we said, Chris Brown, that guy, man, is he going to be the guy that is a championship favorite? And he ended up taking that championship home. However, in the JP Designs Open Wheel Tour for race 1, we looked at Adam Morrow and we said, well, is he the championship favorite? And then we looked at Parker White and we said, well, is he a guy to look at? And then Blake Kennedy kind of came out of nowhere and ended up being the champ. And at the end of the season, we were even looking at guys like Henry Klappert, Ryan Martin, Josh Patterson being champs of that series. So really here, this first race, it can either be a testament to, is this a championship driver? Or is this a testament to, oh, we got a wreck in the infield? Anyways, or is it a testament to, well, this is going to be a long season. So looks like that wreck in the infield cleared up there as fortunately due to ATVO, I'm having a little bit of issues trying to get this thing sorted out here. As we've got Charlie Byer trying to lap a GT3 going onto the oval, and GT3 almost didn't want to give Byer room as Byer's got his teammate in front of him. And there's a good look at the 73. As back to turn one, Guillemette laps one of those Hutch Sport cars. That is not David Slutier, who is P2, but rather being that looks like that was Coy Hasselow. There's Josh Patterson trying to get a position here, top 10 actually, on Jarek Hernandez. There's Blake Kennedy, who lost a couple positions, I noticed. He's P6. Last time we checked on him, he was P3. I'm not sure if Kennedy pit maybe for strategy or what, but Ethan Workman did end up taking over P3 from him. There's Sartaj Mon and David Slutier, who have still been trailing each other. Well, Slutier mainly trailing Sartaj, as these guys have been in a battle for the GT3 lead the entire race, and Slutier may be keeping it close, trying to stalk his prey. There's P3 in that class, Ethan Workman, with Cole Williams right there, and Cole Williams still P2 in the GTE class as Parker White leads that class. Looks like your early retirements from this race are Harry Grindle, who I know had a computer issue. Looks like Nate Brooker, Adam Lambert, Chris Brown, Bridger Olson, and then Mitch Hobbs, Alan Duranko, Brian Kite, and Joe Hutchings were involved in the lap 1 incident, I believe. Actually, Bridger Olson may have been involved in the lap 1 incident. Looks like your retirements in the GT3 class may be James Youngman, Henry Klappert, Marion McDaniels, Corey Hartz, Ethan Harrison, Matthew McDonald, Christian Visconti, as they all had issues in turn 1. Meanwhile, the LMPs, they got through turn 1 pretty clean, and the only retirements they've had so far are, looks like Christopher Miller had an issue. He was up there in the top 5. He has retired officially from this one. Looks like Jack Wyborn, Cody Bullock, Robert Young, and Joe Burgy have retired from this. Joe Burgy, we saw he had an incident getting going in turn 1. And so that sucks for Burgy. I'm not sure what caused him to stall out there potentially, but there's Parker White. As we just heard, guys, that's the LMP leader. Adam State has hit pit road. So there's Mr. State down pit road. Looks like other P2s have also hit pit road. So this will be Austin Edwards' chance to get something to happen here. There's Parker White leading the GTE class. And then your GT3 class leader, it looks like Slutier and Sartaj may have gone down pit road. And I'm trying to find Ethan Workman here. Looks like that's not working, so I'm not sure what happened there. But here's Austin Edwards, P2 in the P2 class. And Edwards pit early, I believe, pit a lap before, so. So there's another JSR car. That is Justin Johnson. There's Josh Patterson. Well, we've mentioned he's had a rough night, as he's going to put that GT3 a lap down. Can't quite tell which GT3 that is. It looks like that was Anthony Pritchett. Here's more P2s coming down pit road, as looks like that's Joe I want to say his name is Fierro. Joe Fierro. Looks like he came down pit road. And coming out of pit road, looks like there's Guillemette, who is P2, so somehow they leapfrogged Austin Edwards on pit strategy. And not sure what happened. Oh, we got a spin. Rafael Santiago. He goes around, he's going to get that thing back going. Yeah, it wasn't too much of a spin. I guess it was more of a little slide and a checkup right there. Getting on the brakes, but good job by Santiago to not bend that thing and get himself back going. Of course, he's going to have to give Austin Edwards the lane here, and Jordan Spoon soon enough after him. As Spoon looks like he's leapfrogged Cannizzaro. Here's Fierro coming out of pit road here. And Jordan Spoon, we keep seeing him a lot. Him and John Cannizzaro, they've really been going at it for position, and somehow Joe Fierro has locked himself in the P3. And there's David Slutier. We just saw him P2 get lapped by Parker White, who right here we're on camera shots in P1. So there's Slutier P2. You see him. Sartaj Mon got out in front of him on pit strategy. That blue Lamborghini up there, that is Sartaj. He's about to get lapped by a P2. And David's got some time to make up, as Sartaj is actually going to get lapped by a lot of P2s. And Ryan Martin runs off in turn 1. Looks like he'll get back going here, as the P2s cycle themselves around. I'm interested to see here. Daytona is one of the shorter road courses we go to on the schedule, I believe. In fact, I'm not too sure, but I believe the shortest road course that the series will attend all season is gonna be Orrin Park, I believe. Haven't quite looked it up yet. It might be Watkins Glen as well. And there's Cannizzaro, who is taking P4 away from Mr. Spoon again, but Jordan Spoon and Cannizzaro, as I said, they keep going back and forth at it for position, and it was for a top 5 at one point. Josh Patterson has got himself up back into P7. He's recovering slowly. He was as far back as P15. At one point in this race, I'm not sure if Patterson has done that on pit strategy or what. So the P2's pit about halfway through this thing. We'll see if they're going to have to make another stop. There's Adam State putting more laps down, and Guillemette trying to run down Jarek Hernandez to put him a lap down. Could also be Guillemette. Oh, and he spins! Spins it in turn 1, locks it down. And looks like he'll get back going again. That's going to cost him, though. That's John Cannizzaro, who just got by him, I believe, right there. That JSR car in front of him. That is Cannizzaro. So Guillemette going to have to work his way back in front of Cannizzaro. And Cannizzaro trying to work his way around lap traffic. We'll see here if maybe it's Guillemette. I'm not too sure. Oh! Triple Eight of Michael Robinson goes for a quick little slide. Looks like he'll get it back going here in front of Charlie Beyer in that EL Media GTE. Meanwhile, there's Cannizzaro. He's trying to run away from Guillemette. We're going to figure this out at some point. There's Robinson, who just took that spin. As you see, he's safely gone back on track right in front of Nick Pina. And Patterson has fallen back to 9th. I'm not sure what Patterson's strategy is. And Parker White, at the moment on my relative, looks like Parker White is falling. Never mind, he is still the leader. There's Mr. White. Parker, very talented driver. Good to see him leading up here. There's Adam State, your leader currently in the LMP2s. And give us a moment here. There he is. Sartaj Mon coming around. He has wiggled free of David Slutier, who is 2 seconds back. And Sartaj may be on his way to a GT3 win here today. As oh, there's P2. He's on pit road. Not sure if this is a strategy call on his part or what. But there's P2 on pit road. And as you see here, we got cars coming onto the oval. There's Parker White. He's in a train right now as Cannizzaro's trying to run away from the 555. And Cannizzaro's going to have to try to use the lap traffic to his advantage as Parker immediately gives that 555 the lane. And that's going to be a good battle to see here as it transpires. We'll see if Cannizzaro is able to hold on to a podium finish here in this one. There's Cole Williams, P2 in his class. Parker White has checked out from him. There's Robinson. We saw him take a spin earlier. Glad to see Robinson back out on track, doing all right. There's P3 in the GT3 class. So GT3 is trying to do some strategy here. That's Brian Zinn up into the podium position. As David Sluter is, he's trying to make something happen on strategy to get to Sartaj Mon. In the event that the P2s have to pit a second time, we'll see if maybe Edwards' pit strategy will help him catch up to Adam State. But for now, here's Blake Kennedy getting lapped by Boyd Payne as Rafael Santiago tries to clear his way through the traffic here. And Sartaj now trying to lap Tony Tiolis. And right there, Jordan Spoon trying to get by Sartaj. Sartaj has led this whole thing, and as I said, he had that 94 draped all over his rear bumper for most of this one. He managed to shake him, get a 2-second gap, and the 94 try to quick little pit strategy. Meanwhile, there's the 555 who has still trailing Cannizzaro, and there's Gino Mero who's trying to run down Jordan Spoon. Nick Pena coming onto the oval here. And I believe that's Sluter right in front of him, and Sartaj getting lapped by Gino Mero. So Mero trying to run down Spoon for top 5. Looks like he did actually. That's Spoon right there. So Gino Mero got by Spoon for a top 5. And there's State. He puts another lap down in front of Ethan Workman, who is P2 in his class. And side by side for a podium here. There's Parker White right behind. As Ryan Martin trying to run away from Jarek Hernandez. Ryan Martin took P12 from him. And so there's Hernandez. Him and oh, Hernandez runs it wide. Martin ran wide too, but Hernandez had to lock it up there a little bit to get that thing back going. And he's going to have to get himself by Parker White again. Back here in turn 1, here's Spoon and Mero battling it out for a top 5, and Mero trying to wiggle his way around Spoon. Spoon's got lap traffic in front of him, and we'll see what happens with Mero here. As Cole Williams, he just has to get out of the way here. And Mero looks to be a little bit faster than Spoon. Back up here now, Guillemette 555 has gotten by Cannizzaro. As Gino Mero still tries to work on Jordan Spoon here for a top 5 in class. And Mero's gonna get a little bit of a better entry onto the oval, I think. I think sweeping it wide there may hurt Spoon. Mero's gonna have the draft. And we'll see how that ends up. There's Sartaj Mon. Huge lead for him now in that GT3 class, as I mentioned. There was a little bit of pit strategy going on there between the rest of the GT3s. Well, a couple of them at least. As David Sluter is P4, by the way, a good update on him. Here's 2 JSR cars trying to battle it out here as they try to get by Ethan Workman, and Sampson locks it up as Johnson was trying to be patient to get around Workman. And Workman just trying to hold his line, get around the racetrack here. And Adam State puts a lap down, or no, excuse me, that's Guillemette. He has not been able to shake Cannizzaro. And there's Mero and Spoon still battling it out for their top 5. So we got 2 really good battles going on the P2s here. There's Austin Edwards, who has lost Adam State completely. And going on to the oval, Cannizzaro locks it up. And that GTE GT3, excuse me, GT3. I believe that was Anthony Pritchett. He kind of blew the corner. Marrow to the inside of Spoon, backs off his corner, as he wasn't going to quite get there. I'm expecting a second LMP stop. I think most of these guys pit a little too early to make it on fuel all the way, so we'll just be able to find out here if these guys are going to make it or not. As you see here, there's Sluter's teammate. He's had a little bit of a rough one here, Coy Haslow. There's Josh Patterson. He's trying to get himself up into a good position here as Cannizzaro trying to lap Boyd Payne. He has lost Giamet by quite a bit. There's Jordan Spoon. He's trying to get by Nick Pena, who is ironically Gino Marrow's teammate, and Gino Marrow is trying to run him down, and Pena actually may hold up Spoon a little bit here from Marrow. We'll see here, Pena runs it wide. We'll see, he goes through the dirt right there, the sand, excuse me, as Marrow is trying his hardest to stay close to Jordan Spoon here for that top 5. They're having a phenomenal battle. And look at Marrow, he has to widen his corner a little bit here to try to get to Spoon. Spoon just gets the better exits, I think. And going on to the oval, we'll see here. Marrow's got to be able to use the draft somehow. Very important here at Daytona. That's got to be what Marrow's got to try to use here to get to Mr. Spoon, try to get himself a top 5 in this opening race of the Keystone Corner Sportscar Championship. Meanwhile, the 2GSR cars, it's Sampson and Johnson. Johnson multiple positions behind. There's Adam State, the LMP leader, actually, in fact, and he is got a 40-second lead almost to Austin Edwards, as Edwards just does not have anything for him. Meanwhile, some interesting news in the GT3 camp. Sartaj Mon, there he is, you see him, he's exiting pit road, which means Ethan Workman right here is leading the GT3 class. So can Ethan Workman get himself a better pit stop and maybe throw his hat in the ring for a win here in the GT3 class? Good to see Mr. Workman out there leading leading laps here. As meanwhile, there's Austin Edwards. He blinks out. There's Hernandez Acaba. And he is trying to hold off Jordan Spoon. And there's Patterson trying to get to Santiago. Santiago's gotten by Patterson for 9th place. And there's that 94. Remember, he pit early on in this one. He tried a different strategy here, and we'll see if that pays off for him, as Gino Marrow has lost a lot of ground on that 36 Ally machine of Jordan Spoon. GGSR guys, once again, Justin Johnson gets by Brandon Sampson. Sampson and P8, Johnson not even on the leaderboard actually. We'll see here, Justin Johnson looks like he is P15. As he's going to have to try to get by Michael Robinson here. Justin Johnson's actually the last car on track for those P2s. And back to this. There's Ethan Workman. He's staying out there. We're 30. Oh, we got a spin behind him. Was that Rafael Santiago? It was Santiago who spun. Not sure where Josh Patterson is. Josh Patterson did get by Santiago. So Josh Patterson gets by Santiago and he'll take over that position. And Sluter has gotten by Sartaj Mon. Meanwhile, here's Michael Robinson, as he has just lapped Parker White, who continues to lead the GTE class. There's Sartaj. Sartaj right now is currently P4. And there's Ethan Workman. Well, part of Ethan Workman. We'll get back to him. There he is, Ethan Workman. We'll see if he pits here. Ethan Workman does not pit. Workman leads. I'm not sure what his strategy is, but Workman is still leading this thing. And we'll see if he can make it around. There's Brian Zinn, P2 in the GT3 class. He pulls in for his pit stops. There's Sluter, who we saw pit early. He is moved up into P2. And we'll see what Ethan Workman's strategy is. If he can lower his fuel enough at the end of this race, he might have a dog in this fight. He'll take less fuel, which takes a lot less time in these GT3s. And there's Sartaj. He just crossed the line now. And Zinn's still on pit road. There's P2 David. David Sluter. Slutier. I don't know. I'm sorry. There's Parker White, the GTE leader. He comes on to pit road. So Parker White was the GTE leader. There's Cole Williams, who's P2. And there's Charlie Byer, who's P3 in the GTEs. We'll see. There's Michael Bernard. He follows. There's P5, Jake Fluman in the GTEs. He does not appear to be following suit here. There's P2 in the GT3s, David Slutier, not sure what his name is, but he has passed Ethan Workman. There's Sartaj Mon. He has moved into P3. And well, back to the LMPs. There's Adam State. There's Austin Edwards. There's Tyler G. He just got by Josh Patterson. There's John Cannizzaro. And then Gino Mero and Jordan Spoon still battling out for top 5. Looks like Spoon's got the top 5 at the moment. And there's Joe Fierro, 7th. There's a quick little update on some of these guys. We'll see if Parker White, there he is. He's out of pit road. There's Cole Williams. So Parker's about... Oh. Okay. Cole's about 2 corners behind Parker. A lot closer than I thought. Not sure if Cole took less fuel or what. We'll see if Parker can extend that gap. Meanwhile, the 94, he trailed Sartaj most of this one. He is back out up front. There's Ethan Workman in pit road. There's Sartaj. So Sartaj will get by Workman for P2, and we'll see if Workman gets out for P3 ahead of Zinn. There's the 94's teammate. That's the 87 of Coy Hasselot. There's Tony Teolis. And then there's Sean Giroux. And there's Jay Mulder. Jay Mulder really beat up race car there. So looks like the 94 might be leading this one here. He may have pulled the good pit strategy to lead this one. There's Parker White leading the GTEs. And it looks like Cole Williams, P2 right there. Excuse the little glitch out there from iRacing. Sluter. I have information that the 94 is pronounced Sluter. Thank you. That was... I've said probably about 5 or 6 different names for that 94 machine. So that 94 leading the GT3s, that is David Sluter. And his teammate Coy in P6. There's Sartaj, P2. There's Ethan Workman. There's Brian Zinn. So this is going to be a good battle for P3 that we might be having on our hands soon. Ethan Workman with a little bit lower fuel may be able to pull away. There's Austin Edwards, P2 in the LMPs. As he's got a 41-second gap from him to Austin State. And there's Hernandez trying to shake the draft off of Ryan Martin as these guys are still going at it for P11. These guys are having a really good battle. And Hernandez runs it wide. He locks it up. And that allows Ryan Martin to take the position back from him. And Nick Pena's right there. He's for position as well. Nick Pena in the 52. He might have a dog in this 3-car battle here for P11. As Ryan Martin starts to pull away, we'll see what Pena can do here. And Pena, he might send Hernandez here. Looks like he'll back it off. As Ryan Martin runs off. Ryan Martin into the barrier. And that might cost him some time. There's Jarek and Nick. And Ryan Martin. He has lost a ton of time. There's your leader, Adam State. There's Edwards. Edwards is over half a track behind. As Tyler G comes down to pit. So as I mentioned, looks like we are going to have 2 stops for these LMPs. Here's a good look at Parker White, who he's led the entire thing in the GTE class. Nobody's come close to him. Cole Williams has been P2 and Charlie Byers has been P3. But his GTE class has remained steadfast. They've been in a lockdown, if you will, that top 3 has not changed positions at all since the start of this thing. As you see Parker, he makes the left-hander, goes onto the oval. And there's Cole. Cole trying to get himself by Boyd Payne, who's a very damaged race car, and of course they've got an LMP right behind him, so they've got to be careful with Rafael Santiago. There's Charlie Byer, who's about a corner behind Cole. And then Michael Bernard, he's just going through the kink. Those guys are all on the same lap. Jake Fluman in P5, Boyd Payne, and they've gotten lapped. Charles Alexander's gotten lapped. And we've got a little question here in the comment section of the chat. Looks like one of you guys is asking what happened to Alan Duranko. Unfortunately, Duranko was part of a lap 1 collision with several other GTEs, and doesn't look like, I believe he was part of the lap 1 collision. Couldn't quite catch who was all involved, but if Mr. Duranko was not involved in that, he did not make the grid. He retired very early from this one, unfortunately. There's David Sluter. He's leading this one. There's Sartaj P2. He's trying to run him down. He's got about 13 seconds between him and David. And Ethan Workman blinks out real quick right there. He is trying to run away from this graphic-looking car, Brian Zinn. As Zinn is P4 trying to get to Workman for P3 and a podium finish in this GT3 class. And Blake Kennedy, our JP Designs Open Wheel Tour champ, has marched himself into the top 5 after making a mistake earlier from the top 3, so good on Kennedy. There's the overall leader, Adam State. Mind-blowing to me how he has such blistering pace. Sometimes they say it's about the setup in these road cars. This is an open setup series, but you've got to think it takes a lot of driver talent to pull out to a 40-plus second gap as Adam has done today. I mean, here's Mr. State here as he goes onto the oval. There's Austin Edwards P2 just hitting turn 1 now. I mean, they're on opposite ends of the infield here. Jordan Spoon P4 and Tyler G P5. Something happened to this 555 and he lost pace. Not sure if it was a spin or what, but he lost 2 positions to Cannizzaro and Jordan Spoon. And there's Fierro, he's up to P6. So Gino Mero also had an incident. Mero was fighting for a top 5. He's back to P8. And Josh Patterson, there he is. He runs turn 1 a little wide, trying to get by Blake Kennedy. Patterson trying to run down Mero here. There's Sampson, who's up to P7. And Rafael Santiago rounds out the top 10 here through the infield. And there's Nick Pena. Ryan Martin has caught back up to them. Ryan Martin, if you remember, just a couple laps ago, spun off into the barrier about 2 corners before the oval. Martin has not only passed Hernandez, but has run down Nick Pena. And this could be a good fight here for P11 here if Ryan Martin can keep it mistake-free, as there's Hernandez a little bit further back, you see. And we'll see what Ryan Martin can do in that 9 car. We'll see if he can compete with Nick. GT3 update, there's David Sluter, P1. As he runs P1 wide. Not sure if he's just trying to get Sampson some room or what. There's P2, Sartaj Mon. Sartaj led this thing, pulled about a 2-second gap on David Sluter, and Sluter pulled some interesting pit strategy, pit about halfway through this thing. And Sluter now out to a huge lead, 17.2 seconds actually. Meanwhile, here's the battle for P3, Brian Zinn and Ethan Workman. Zinn in the comic book looking car, Workman in the Doritos car. And both of these Lambos have been going at it for a couple laps now. Looks like Zinn got the best of Workman, and Workman will have to try to get it back on the attack here. As Josh Patterson comes around to try to lap both of them here, and Workman gets a little bit of a better exit of turn one. Zinn pulled it a little wide. We'll see here if Workman's going to give Patterson a lane, or Workman's going to try to send it on him. Workman backed it off. And Workman now going to have to let Patterson and Santiago by, as Patterson right here in this P2 is under pressure from Rafael Santiago as they're trying to lap these two GT3s here. And Patterson is going to send Zinn and dump him. Brian Zinn gets turned by Josh Patterson. And that's a hit to the rear end that Zinn does not need to take, as these Lamborghinis, they have their engines in the rear and can very easily blow up. That is not a good look for Brian Zinn, as there's Blake Kennedy who can take advantage of Zinn and gain position. There's David Sluter, the GT3 class leader. He goes into turn one here, and he's flying, and there's Sartaj. And such a huge gap. And there's David Sluter's teammate, Corey Haslow. Coy has not had the best start. He has a lot of damage. I believe he was involved in a turn one incident in the GT3 class, but Coy's kept it on the racetrack, and he's put himself P6. There's Tony Tiolis, the leading Audi. One of the Audis, Matthew McDonald, had an issue early on, and Tony, he is here without his teammate Stefano Scarparo, who could not make it tonight. So Tony's kind of out here on his own in the Audi, but he's really making it work here. As Ethan Workman now in P3, he better be thanking Josh Patterson for that one, as Patterson sent him. Meanwhile, Patterson has gotten passed by Rafael Santiago, as there's Santiago in front of Patterson, and Patterson takes this corner a lot higher than he did last time. And meanwhile, back to that battle for 11th we were talking about earlier. You see Pena up in the distance. There's Martin, and we just saw Sampson pit. There's Brandon Sampson, and Sampson is now in a battle with Nick Pena for top 10. And Ryan Martin is here, and there's Jarek Hernandez, who is struggling, not sure if he can be considered part of this battle. So there's Nick Pena. He has a chance to battle this out here with Brandon Sampson. There's Adam State, and Austin Edwards has come down pit road. So as I said, I expected to see these LMP2s come down for a pit stop, and as expected, the P2s have indeed come down for a pit stop. So as we see here, looks like Austin Edwards is done with his pit stop. There's John Cannizzaro, who is P3 right now. And Jordan Spoon looks like he may have had an issue. He's back to P6. Not sure if that was on pitting or not. So the pit cycle's kind of got everyone kind of messed up. Adam State continues to stay it out here, as he continues to just lap his way around this thing. And I'm curious to see here if Adam State does come down to pit or not. Because Adam State has not come down for a second pit stop, and as we saw, Austin Edwards has come down for another pit stop. Uh-oh, we had an issue there. My apologies. ATVO lagged on the timing screen. We're back here though. So yeah, well, here we are watching Adam State, the LMP2 leader. And back to the GT3 class. There's David Sluter. There's Ethan Workman P3. There we go, we're back to Sluter now. Sluter has... I'm just wondering if he has enough fuel to make it. As I said, he did pit early, pit about halfway. As you see here, this GTE trying to draft with him. And, you know, if I'm that GTE, I'm questioning a little bit of Slitter's setup here, because Slitter must have a monster setup to be faster than a GTE, especially on a straightaway. That's pretty impressive. I would be impressed if I'm Sluter and his team in general. And Sartaj Mon just now getting into turn 1. You gotta feel a little bad for Sartaj, but at the same time, you know, that's racing. Pit strategy is part of the thing, and even though Sartaj led most of this early on, I'd still say this is a strong effort even— oh! We got a spin up here. Couldn't quite tell who it was. Looks like they've gotten back going. Looks like it might have been Cannizzaro or Justin Johnson, as they catch up to Josh Patterson. There's Tyler G, who we saw fighting for a podium earlier. He has been lapped by Adam State, and Cannizzaro is very close to getting lapped by State, as you see Cannizzaro right there, and there's State right there. State into turn 2, and Cannizzaro just now coming back onto the oval. So we could see Cannizzaro get lapped. There's Tyler G. There's Jordan Spoon entering turn 1. He's been competing for top 5 all night in that 36 machine. There's Joe Fierro. Fierro down pit road here. He might go another lap down. And we'll see how this goes, but this could help Gino Mero, depending on what Mero has done for his pit strategy, as he comes onto the tri-oval here. And looks like Mero stays out, so if Mero stays it out here, he could get P6. There's Josh Patterson. As we see here through 3 and 4, that's John Cannizzaro behind him. Patterson has shaken Brandon Sampson away from him. And there's Nick Pena, who has lost ground to his teammate. There's Jarek Hernandez, as you just saw. So as we see, here's Pena. He just got lapped again by P2. And there's Brandon Sampson. We're talking about him fighting for top 10. Looks like Ryan Martin has got himself in the top 10, as Rafael Santiago had an issue. And Santiago's off track. So that spin that we just saw a couple of laps ago may have actually been Santiago. That's interesting. That spin may have been Santiago. Meanwhile, here's Adam State. He is still out here, and I don't believe he is pit yet either still, so not sure if Adam can make it on fuel all the way or not. He hit a lap earlier than Austin Edwards last time around, I believe, so Edwards may have just been pitting early to see. And we'll see if Adam State here, the overall leader, he's led this entire thing from green to checkered. We'll see what he can concur with as we try to find our GT3s on track here. And there's a lone P2 instead. So there's Joe Fierro. And the number 16, there's the 73 Brian Zinn. We saw him get turned by Josh Patterson earlier. Looks like Zinn has pulled away from Blake Kennedy. As there's Zinn and there's Kennedy just coming onto the oval now. So Kennedy lost some ground. There's Koy Asolo. He may have a chance at a top 5 here, depending on if Kennedy makes a mistake. And actually, there's David Sluter, the leader. He is about to get lapped by the LMP leader, actually. As Adam State just continues to rampage on as he's lapped everyone up to 3rd. Granted, as I said, I don't believe State is pit yet. There's Ethan Workman, P3. We just went from P1 to P3 in the GT3 class, and you see how huge of a gap this is. And as I said, Sluter and Sartaj were keeping it close early on. Just couldn't keep it quite going. There's Josh Patterson, and there's Brandon Sampson. They're battling for position here, and in fact, Sampson is actually getting held up by Sartaj Mon. And Sartaj just going to give him the inside there, let him by. We'll see if Brandon can get back up to Josh. There's Joe Fierro. He's had himself a quiet but solidly consistent day. He hasn't really been caught on camera doing anything like wrecking the car. Car looks clean, at least to me, so I would say he's had himself a pretty solid day. We haven't really talked too much about Mr. Fierro. Caught him going down pit road, obviously. Had himself a pretty solid top 10 day here. Of course, he's outlasted the 21 LMPs as there's Adam State. So there's your leader pitting as he's got about 5 laps to go, excuse me, 5 laps to go on his run. There's Austin Edwards. He was almost lapped. This is wow. I can't even begin. That was turn 2 that Edwards just came through. There's State. He's coming in at turn 1 now. Adam State pretty much has this one, and he may even lap the entire LMP field to show off a little bit that he's won this thing. As the 555, Tyler G, he has gotten himself back into P3 as he passed John Cannizzaro. And Cannizzaro trying to pass Teolis here. Jordan Spoon P5. Looks like that'll round out the top 5 at the moment for the LMPs, as at the moment the leaderboard says Gino Mero is P6. Looks like there's Mero right there. So we'll see if Mero, he lost Jordan Spoon. He was battling for that top 5 at one point with Mr. Spoon. We'll see here. Here's Gino crossing the line. And there's Joe Fierro. So Fierro maybe a little bit too far back to make a move. And there's Ryan Martin coming onto the oval. And there's Josh Patterson just exiting the oval. So I believe Patterson may have gotten passed by Brandon Sampson, or Sampson is somewhere in between Ryan Martin and Patterson. We'll see here in a moment. Yep, looks like Patterson and Martin have a little bit of a gap. And Sampson actually may have gotten passed by Ryan Martin. Never mind, Ryan Martin is another lap down. He just went another lap down, so at the moment as the relative cycles through, Ryan Martin has gone another lap down. But Ryan Martin, however, is top 10. And Justin Johnson in the 12, he's passed Nick Pena and Jarek Hernandez, who Ryan Martin was in a heated battle with earlier. There's Pena, and there's Hernandez. So Justin Johnson having himself a solid day. There's Adam State as Parker White may have locked it up, trying to lap a fellow GTE member. We haven't really talked about the GTEs lately, but there's Parker. He has a 15.9 second lead currently over Cole Williams in the 42. As Parker will lap the 968 of Charles Alexander. And Alexander's just kept it out on track and earned himself a top 10. But Parker, man, he has put on a clinic in the GTE class. There's Cole Williams, quite a few corners behind, as Williams is actually about to come onto the oval. So Williams isn't necessarily too far back, but I mean, a double-digit lead for Parker White. Pretty insane, as there's Charlie Beyer making his way around. Michael Bernard, and then Jake Fluman right there, just getting through just getting onto the oval actually. Fluman just got lapped by Parker White. And there's Boyd Payne, who's on the same lap as Fluman, so we'll see how that goes for these guys. There's Brian Zinn. As we just looked at Ethan Workman, we saw that gap, but there's Blake Kennedy. So Kennedy, Zinn, and Workman about half a track, covering all 3 of them. Of course, enough gap between those guys. There's Coy Hasselo, he comes through turn 1. Now into turn 2, there's Tony Teolis onto the oval. There's Sean Giroux. There's Jay Mulder. Mulder's 21 laps down. Not sure what kind of issues he's had in that 51, but he may get P9 as Anthony Pritchett has retired from the race. And there's David Sluter leading the GT3 class as he's about to get lapped by the GTE leader and Parker White. And man, what a pit strategy by the 94 of David Sluter. He has absolutely put on a show here. Was right on Sartaj's bumper, and he managed to pull away there. As Jordan Spoon in the infield, there's Gino Mero. Mero may end up P6 here, as there's Fierro. his competition. Josh Patterson goes down pit road. Patterson may be in danger of losing his top 10 here, as he's the last car on the lead lap. Actually, he's the last car one lap down, excuse me. There's Adam State, so Patterson will go a lap down, and Patterson may have a late threat from Sampson and Martin for that position, as the white flag has come out here. 80 minutes have gone by, and Adam State has absolutely dominated this thing. There's P2 in his class, Austin Edwards. There's P3, Tyler G. But Adam State through the infield. Wow. And we'll get a quick look at Josh Patterson. He's off of pit road. He's about half a track in front of Ryan Martin, so I don't think that'll be an issue. And Patterson will be the first car 2 laps down. But anyways, there's Adam State as he comes onto the oval. Mr. State in the 98, he's put on a clinic. There's P2 now just crossing the line to take the white flag. Unbelievable. What a drive by Adam State in the 98 in the LMP2 class. As Adam State, give it a second here, and we'll try to get a look at him one more time here. As Adam State may have blinked out. There he is, coming around the final corner. He's blinking out here for a second. There he is, Adam State. Coming around the final corner in dominating fashion will take the first race of the Keystone Corner Sports Car Championship in the LMP2 class. There's Parker White. As Parker makes himself around the racetrack through 3 and 4 on the white flag, and Parker, from start to finish, he didn't even get passed on pit strategy. Parker leads every single lap in the GTE class and brings home that 911 in P1. As Parker flashes his lights, and there's your GT3 leader, the last of the bunch, David Sluter. What a pit strategy. He will come home P1 as he passes his teammate Coy at the line. And wow, what a race. We're going to try to bring up your finishing results here. And then we'll bring in guys for interviews. Adam State P1 in the LMPs. And then we got Austin Edwards, Tyler G, John Cannizzaro, Jordan Spoon, Gino Mero, Joe Fierro, Brandon Sampson, Josh Patterson, Ryan Martin now rounding out your top 10 overall and in the LMP2 class. Then we got Justin Johnson, Nick Pena, Jarek Hernandez. That rounds out the rest of the P2s who finished the race. Then we got Parker White, Cole Williams, Charlie Byer, Michael Bernard, Jake Fluman, Boyd Payne, David Sluter. Before Sluter, so Sluter starts the GT3s. Then we got Sartaj Mon, Ethan Workman, Brian Zinn, Blake Kennedy, Coy Asolo, Charles Alexander, Tony Diolis, Rafael Santiago, Michael Robinson, Sean Giroux, Jay Mulder, Anthony Pritchett, Christopher Miller, Jack Wyborn, Nate Burker, Richard Siaski, Adam Lambert, Bridger Olson, Cody Bullock, Chris Brown, and James Youngman, Robert Young, Joe Burgy, Mary McDaniels, Mitch Hobbs, Alan Duranco, Corey Hartz, Ethan Harrison, Matthew McDonald, Christian Visconti, Brian Kite, Joe Hutchings, myself, Bridger Olson, and Henry Klappert rounding out the field. Not sure what happened to most of these guys. We'll be right back as WORC will go to commercial break real quick. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back for interviews. This is WORC TV. And welcome back to the World Online Racing Championship here. We were trying to bring in our winner, Adam State, to the booth. He led every single lap in this one. And we're going to try to see here if we can bring him into the booth. Looks like actually we'll be interviewing our GT3 winner first here. He's in the booth first here. So we are going to attempt to pull up, we're going to try to bring in the 94 here. Let's see. Trying to find the 94 here on track. Not showing the 94 here, but come on, interview. All right, there we go. Takes a minute for the interview thing to work here, but anyways, we're gonna go ahead and bring in David Sluter as Adam State just joined the booth now. So we're gonna bring in David Sluter for a second. David, you're in the WORC TV booth. You got a copy, bud.
Yeah, hear you loud and clear, man.
All right, David. Well, I gotta talk to you about that pitch strategy, man. You were all over Sartaj's rear end for a good portion of that beginning of the race, but man, you pit about halfway through that thing, and it paid off. You had a huge lead at the end of that thing. Run me through what made you go through with that pitch strategy.
I was kind of looking at where the other cars were on track, and I kind of got to that point, and I realized that if I pitted then, I was gonna have no one around me, maybe a couple LMP2s, and that's basically what happened. I think probably 5 laps after my pit stop, I think I only had 2 cars pass me, so I had a pretty clean track.
Yeah, for sure, man. You absolutely had a clean track there, and I guess the other question I have for you here is about early on in that race. Uh, Obviously, with you running with Sartaj, you were running right up on his back bumper. Were you trying to make a move, or were you just trying to stay patient, stay behind him?
I was just trying to stay behind him, be patient, and be consistent with my own race. I was trying to force him to make a mistake in a way, trying to put the pressure on him. I noticed towards the end, before I came into the pits, he was starting to get a little squirrely in some of the turns. I don't know if that was because of the pressure or what was going on, but I wasn't really wanting to pass him. I was more wanting just to follow him for a while.
All right, David. Yeah, I mean for sure that you had a great race, dude. I can't believe that pitch strategy. That was a great pitch strategy that paid off for you here. David, before I let you go, you got anybody you want to thank tonight?
No, I just thank my teammates, Austin, Edwards, Allen, and Coy. I'm pretty sure Austin got second in class in the LMP2, and I know Allen had some problems in GT, and then Coy ended up sixth in GTD. But just want to thank those guys.
All right, man. Well, we'll see you around. Obviously, we're taking off next week in this series. Not for our other series, of course, but we'll see you next time we hit the track at Laguna Seca.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Thanks for putting it on.
All right, man. Congratulations on your GT3 win.
All right, thank you, man.
All right, everybody. That is David Sluter, your GT3 winner. Now we're gonna bring him in, your LMP winner. He absolutely dominated this thing. Adam State. Adam, you got a copy. You're in the Work TV booth.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, Adam. Man, what a drive by you out here. In the gosh, I'm trying to find a good camera angle of you here. Uh, Absolutely great drive on your end. You led from start to finish. I mean, you lapped pretty much the entire field. You lapped all up but second place. How did you do that?
I mean, I'd come into this from all the prep we'd done to the 24 hours last week. So just carry those other prep and made sure to hit the marks and keep space with the traffic because it's all about getting to the finish rather than worrying about finishing first. And then once I've sorted, kind of worked out where the traffic was going and how they wanted to take their lines, it was just they'd carry the speed for the rest of the race.
For sure, man. And I mean, your pit strategy, you pit there with about 10 minutes to go, maybe a little less. What were you trying to run the field that low to have a lower fuel for the end of the race? Were you just trying to just let your tank run out, or what was your plan there on that fuel strategy?
I mean, I was just trying to save the fuel to make sure I could get 23 laps out the car. like we were doing in the 24, and then it was just basically a case of running around, making sure I use the tank as much as I can because you get the most lap time right at the bottom of the tank when it's at the car's at its lightest, and then just did that quick splash and dash to get the car to the end.
For sure, man. Well, Adam, before I let you go, you got anybody you want to thank tonight?
I just want to thank my team with them racing and Tyler for introducing me into this league for tonight. And I'll see you guys later.
All right, man, for sure. As I said, we're taking off next week, but hopefully we'll see you back when we hit the track in California at Laguna Seca. Congratulations on your win, Adam, and we'll see you around.
Cheers, thank you very much.
All right, guys, that was Adam State. Actually, a fun fact, first foreign winner we've had in WORC on iRacing, so that's a pretty solid little tidbit right there, I believe. Now we're going to try to pull in your GTE winner, Parker White. There he is. We'll have to change the graphic here in a moment. But Parker, you're in the WORC TV booth. You got a copy, bud.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Parker. Well, um, man, what a drive. I don't think anybody passed you in your class that entire race, even during pit strategy, dude. Um, from the start, what was your strategy? I know the GTEs had a big crash in turn one that took out a lot of cars. What was your strategy? Did that have any effect in it?
Yeah, right off the start, I knew I could probably pull away a little. I didn't really think much of like lap traffic and stuff, especially with like LMP2s. So I just knew if I could keep the car clean and keep it out of trouble, that we'd be there at the end. But there was actually a LMP2, actually a few of them that were like way off pace, and like I know Cole and I, like, we were in GTE obviously, and we actually were like actually a decent amount faster than them. Uh, so I remember I was going into the second horseshoe one lap, and one of the LMP2s just like goes full send and just like completely cleans me out. But luckily, um, we didn't have any damage. Uh, so we fell back to third, I think like four seconds behind the leader, which was Cole at the time. So I passed second place, which was at the time, which was Charlie. And then I got up to Cole's bumper. There was another LMP2 that was behind him. And going into turn one, I don't know what he was doing, but he just like full throttled into Cole and took him out, put him, I think, like 9 seconds behind me. So we took the lead back. Then from there, I just kind of grew the gap. And after those incidents with the LMP2s, I was just looking out for them because I didn't want to get wrecked again and risk being taken out of the race. So I just had to be careful, keep the car clean, be right with pit strategy. I saved a little fuel so I could have a little bit at the end without losing much time. So it definitely wasn't the easiest race just because of, like I said, like the lap traffic and stuff. But yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, being in a GT, you're the middle child. You're not the slowest car on track, but you're not the fastest, and those P2s can put laps around you. And of course, you know the LMP2s, those guys like to be aggressive. You have to be really dedicated to get through a corner in one of those cars compared to a GT or a GT3. Um, well, Parker, before I let you go, you got anybody you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, I've got to thank my team, McGrath Sport, and I've got to thank my sponsors, Budget Lawn Care and Deal Media. And of course, I've got to thank you guys at Work TV for the broadcast.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, thank you for being here. And of course, if hope to see you around at Laguna Seca next time we put these cars on track, man. Congratulations on your GTE win.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, it's Parker White, your GTE winner. And we're going to actually get one more interview real quick here. We are able to pull in P2 in the GTE class. I'd like to hear from him. Not sure where he's at on the track, but we'll bring him in for an interview. We got Cole Williams. Cole, you're in the Work TV booth. You got a copy, bud.
Yes, sir.
Man, you basically stayed podium that entire race, man. You and actually your teammate Charlie Byer and of course Parker White as well. Um, I guess the first thing I gotta ask you is, did you think that you had enough in the tank that you may have had a chance that Parker White had you not gotten wrecked or anything like that?
Um, Probably not. I know he got taken out really early on. I think it was like, might have been lap 6 or something. I think LMP that wrecked on lap 1 or pit started or something that the GT cars were almost faster than. I mean, I was almost hitting the guy on basically the oval part. And he finally pulled away, and then he just dive bombed Parker or whatever, and I just saw them wrecked, and I thought he would be done or whatever. I thought, all right, well, there's my golden opportunity because we're basically all basically running the same, car and everything. So we're fairly close, probably on the setup and stuff too. And we were, yeah, it was kind of crazy. I don't know what that was going on there, and I thought maybe I was worried that LMP was gonna rejoin and maybe take both of us out or something. But and then when he started coming back, I think I got just completely ran to the back of it in turn one, or maybe it was netcode or something. But I definitely felt the retards off the ground, so I just cut it right to make sure we didn't hit the wall or whatever. And I kind of just did a weird like turnaround, and I just kind of rejoined at the same pace as everyone else. And that was kind of cool. But we rejoined right behind Charlie, let him carve through some of the cars. I had to catch up to him a little bit, and then we just passed him. But yeah, he ran a great race too. Of course, Parker did after he got hit. He was lucky that he didn't get any damage or anything basically at all. So um, yeah, I don't think there was much for him. We were trying. I think we were running him down just a little bit at the end. I think he just hit some more traffic, and I mean, I think his tires were probably even better anyway. So there's probably not much I can do there. But it was I just got this Porsche just before the race. Usually I run the BMW with no balance of power, at least in this race. There's I believe this is going to be the best car to run. So um, I feel, and it's also super fun to run. It was definitely a good race. And I really liked running this Porsche.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, still a great drive by you to finish P2, and even more on that. A lot of people prepped for Daytona. We just had the iRacing 24 Hours of Daytona last week. I mean, it's 24-hour. It's been 24-hour week for a couple weeks now in iRacing. It's the season, and a lot of people have been preparing for this. A lot of people put down so many laps. They have their setups perfected, and a lot of people just use their setups from last week. So, do you think, when it's more of a track like Laguna Seca as the next track we're going to, do you think that you'll be a little bit more prepared than these guys because you'll be on more of an even level and maybe it'll be a little bit more competitive?
Yeah, I think Laguna Seca obviously will probably see some more people show up. Of course, a free track. I I mean this car was I just got it a few hours ago, but I just use just aftermarket setups or whatever. So I mean I can't build for anything basically on anything besides asphalt. So um I feel like yeah I mean I ran the Rolex, but it was on the BMW with the balance of power stuff. So that car was the BMW was completely different than this one, different engine position and all that. Actually, the top three in the GT class were all on my team, so it was it was pretty cool to see that happen here. I think we should be pretty good. Just we got to make the car a little. I'll probably make sure our cars dialed in because I could tell people out here like um, there were some LMPs that were probably on like maximum downforce or something. Just a little tidbit: you probably shouldn't be at maximum downforce on a like a roval type track. So I don't know if we go like to Charlotte or whatever later on, maybe Kansas, a throwback to obviously like half a year ago, whatever. But I I mean that was I mean some of those guys are almost running as slow as probably our cars were in that LMP. So obviously some people weren't prepared, but I could tell definitely the people at the top were. Of course, I know John's them they ran 24 or whatever, and they're pretty fast. So I think we should have a little bit of advantage going in because I mean I ran a bunch of laps here, like probably at least 300, 400 laps over the past few months, getting prepared for that. But it was in a completely different car, but at least we know the track. So and then the low track temp helped too, just made it easier to drive overall. So uh, I hope so, at least that we can have a more even slate going into Laguna Seca.
Yeah, man. Well, congratulations, Cole, on P2. And you got anybody you want to thank tonight before I let you go?
I just want to thank EMR, of course, Humid Racing, Apollo Gaming, D's Custom Diecast, and of course, Stealth Energy for being on. I don't know if we got them on in time. Charlie just threw together these two paints right before the race, so he just sent the file or whatever to us, and then we went out there and just ran it. I know it looks kind of like a camo. It looks kind of cool. But, shout out to those guys. Thanks for you doing the broadcast. I know probably at some point it got probably pretty tough. 80 minutes just alone, probably difficult.
Toughest
And
part
yeah.
was iRacing glitching about midway, about early on
Oh.
actually. iRacing glitching, and then iRacing had a glitch through 3 and 4 the entire, or not through 3 and 4, but like through Oval 1 and 2 the entire night, and that was a little bit of a struggle, but um, yeah, but thank you, Cole, for racing, and congrats on P2.
Thank you, man.
All right, guys, that was Cole Williams, P2 tonight in the GTE class. Well, everybody, it has concluded tonight's event. We had a solid race. Solid race night, of course. Couple crashes in turn one, and of course, after tonight, truly, I believe we'll find out who are frauds and who our actual drivers are in this series. So Adam State, though, he looked quick, and only a matter of time, I guess, if we find out if Adam State, Parker White, and David Sluter are our champs. Could just be some Daytona magic because they had their 24-hour sets. Who knows, man? Thank you everyone for tuning in. The WORC TV. Sorry about the technical mishaps throughout.